what happens when you die? And no, not what happens to your body, science has already figured that out, but where do you, the observer, go? Heaven? Hell? Back to the source? Another dimension entirely? Maybe you reincarnate into a frog. Or a donkey. Maybe even a cow. Or if the universe is feeling generous, a newborn baby.
God damn it!
Or perhaps you wake up and realize the life you live was just an alien playing a game in an arcade. And then you live an entire life as the alien. Get a job, start a family, raise some tiny blue alien kids, and then that alien dies. And suddenly, another alien wakes up in another arcade, puts another coin in, and the chain just keeps on going. Enough rabbit holes for now, because before we ask what happens after death, we have to ask a far stranger question. How do you know you're experiencing anything at all? Cogito ergo sum. René Descartes was a French philosopher and mathematician born in the 16th century, a man obsessed with understanding reality itself. But the world he lived in was unstable, science was uncertain, religion was fractured, and knowledge, the very idea of truth, was in chaos. And Descartes wanted something absolute, something no one could argue with, a truth so solid it could not be shaken by doubt, deception, or even his own senses. So he did something radical. He took everything he believed, every assumption about the world, about God, about his own mind, and burned it to the ground. He cleaned the slate completely and started from the simplest place possible. What if my senses, my eyes, my ears, even my own thoughts are lying to me? Maybe I'm dreaming. After all, dreams have felt this real before. And then he pushed it further. He imagined a powerful, perfectly intelligent being whose only purpose was to deceive him, to feed him a false world, false memories, false logic, a being so flawless in its deception that nothing he perceived could be trusted. The purpose was to push doubt to its absolute limit, but eventually he saw the flaw in his own reasoning. If every sense failed, if every thought was twisted, if even reality itself was a perfect illusion, there was still one thing that couldn't be removed, the one who was aware of the illusion. And from that he arrived at the only truth that could not be doubted. I think, therefore I am. Now, how does this story relate to death? Because Descartes showed something important. When you strip away the body, the world, your senses, your memories, what remains is the observer. Whether this life is real, a simulation, or an alien arcade, the one thing you can't delete is the awareness that's having the experience. Which raises the question, if everything you perceive can disappear, what happens to the one thing you cannot doubt? The observer. The nihilistic view. Some people believe you, the observer, arrived here by pure accident, a brief spark of consciousness that will never appear again. In this view, your life has no built-in meaning. Any purpose you think you have is something you invented just to make that experience feel less empty. And upon death, that's it. You enter into the darkness and never come back online. No reincarnation, no waking up in an arcade, no heaven or hell. You may as well indulge in every impulse, chase every distraction, live purely for comfort, because in the end, none of it matters. The revelation. The nihilists aren't right or wrong. In fact, none of these viewpoints are. They all sit on a continuum. Some feel more believable than others. But what you believe, what resonates with you, depends entirely on the subjective experiences you've had as the observer. Your memories, your fears, your hopes. But whatever you believe, consider the scale of what you're standing inside. A universe 13.8 billion years old, home to around 2 trillion galaxies, and spread across all of them a number so vast it almost stops meaning anything. 1 followed by 24 zeros, stars. With a universe this old, this vast, does it truly make sense that your consciousness flickered on once and will never appear again? The chances feel impossibly small, like winning a lottery just to qualify for a second lottery, winning that one to enter a third, and somehow winning all of them in a row. Whatever the truth may be, one thing is undeniable. You, the awareness behind the eyes, exists right now, and your entire life still sits in front of you, unwritten. What comes after death is a mystery no one can solve, but the beliefs you choose before you get there, that part is entirely yours. Moving forward, I hope I haven't sounded like someone claiming to know the truth of the universe. I don't. None of us do. And behind this narrator, behind J.AI, there is a real person sitting here, making these videos, and not many people watch them yet. But I enjoy creating them. And I share that with you because in the end, whatever happens after we die might not matter as much as we think. What does matter is how we choose to live while we're here. And if there is something that created all this, a force, a god, an intelligence, would it really hand us the answer? And if it did, would you even want to know it? Some mysteries aren't puzzles to be solved. We look at an ant and think of how simple it is, how limited its world must be. But if a creator exists, whatever it is, it might look at us the exact same way. And when you zoom out to that scale, whatever challenges you're facing, the stress, the doubts, the fears, they start to look smaller. In a universe this vast, this strange, this impossible, you don't have to have it all figured out, nor have all the answers. Marcus Aurelius once said, "It is not death that a man should fear, but never beginning to live." So I'll leave the mystery of death to your imagination, and you can return to the only thing that truly matters, which is living.